What's happening? Why ain't I on the stage? Go. Hey, what a great start. Sorry, no shirt. Sorry, no background. I'm far from well. I've got some comments that I need to deal with. Oh no, that's you lot. That's all right. Lovely. Lovely. Look at that. Boris has changed his name, probably. All that filthy talk he does on YouTube. He's probably had to. War Master Horus. Yeah, it is an oh my gosh. But admit it, you're smiling. The scrubs are excellent. I'm not well. This won't be. You know what I'm going to do? I'm gonna do a bit of zooming. Actually, I won't do a bit of zooming. Who's zooming who? Not me. I tell you who is zooming someone though. Picard. There he is. That's why I didn't need to do the zooming. Hello, Picard. How are you, son?
Hello. I'm all good. How are you?
Well, we've already discussed how I am, so you kind of know. Right, right, Scrubs. I'm going to only say this once, and for legal, it's not a great start, is it? And privacy reasons, you're not going to get the full story. I'd love to. You will do. You'll get it on Substack soon, which will soon be monetized. Don't worry. If you're a free subscriber, you'll still get what you get now. It's just when I monetize it, you're going to get more. You're going to get 2 stories a month. You're going to get commentaries. You're going to get me reading my short stories, so audio shorts. And there's also a writing course. It's not something I just bodged up over the last few weeks because I haven't been able to walk or move or talk or anything, shitting in the saucepan in the bedroom. It's something I wrote years ago to teach comedy. I've just, comedy writing. So I haven't even taken the comedy out of it. It's the same process. So there'll be loads of stuff there. It's going to be the price of a cup of coffee a month, but you'll get a short story through Substack, and there'll be all the details about that. So that's exciting. I'm a professional writer now. I don't have any other income. And I tell you what, while we're talking about income, stroke grifting, because I was ill, I missed my birthday. And when you're streaming, your birthday is the best gift of the year. Gutted. Feel free to make up for that. The Buy Me a Coffee link is down at the. I love seeing Packer laugh when I'm on the ponce. He can't stop himself. The Buy Me a Coffee link is down at the bottom of the YouTube stream now. But what I'll do, I'll make it easier for you, and I'll go bosh, and you can use the QR code. You put your camera phone over it; it'll give you a link. Lovely. There you go. Picard is indicating said QR code. You get a 30 minute. No, you don't. You get a video from me replied, and it's not a standard boilerplate. Thank you for the donation. And they've made it longer than 30 seconds, so it's not just me saying, hello, how are you? Oh, fuck, I've run out of time, bye. So you can donate and support this channel. I'm a full-time writer and YouTuber now, so that helps. This is what happened. This is why I've been away. I got food poisoning, right? Now, this is the tip of the iceberg. Don't just go, oh, food poisoning. It's been about 2.5 months. I don't know how long it's been. Now, I've been coming out to this neck of the woods for about 25, 30 years. I've never had food poisoning. Nothing. Not a touch of it. But as I said to Picard earlier, it would appear it has been in a high interest account and accruing a fair amount of. Wow. I mean, wow. I just thought, I don't feel very good. I think I lost about 12 kilo. We're not quite sure because I weighed myself. Well, my missus sat me down on a set of scales, but I'd already been like evacuating before then, so we're not quite sure. But yeah, that's why I'm like, look at me, nothing to me, skinny as a rake. Well, not so bad. I'm getting better, right? But then I go to a place. Well, I'll not tell you where it was. I just don't want to get in trouble, really. and I was still sick, but I booked the tickets. And the irony is, I went for a rest. I went out there for a rest, but I got a bit naughty. I was a bit naughty, really, and I got sick again. Like, it felt like the food poison had come back, but it doesn't work like that. After about 5 days, like literally, part of your system. Hang on, when I get messages when I'm streaming, oh, it's Latus telling me I'm streaming. He probably thought you're meant to be streaming and you've fallen asleep or something. Every time I put a bit of water to my mouth, the back door opened. And because I was also not sleeping, I was essentially swimming in a bed of oxtail soup. Imagine a little kiddie's piddling, yeah, paddling pool full of oxtail soup, and me in it just going, Nyeh. I also went insane, making phone calls to real random people, asking for really random things. There was a couple of subscribers in that hotel, YouTube subscribers, who kept knocking on the door and going, Dangerfield, when you coming out? Come on, we got to go out on the piss and all that. And my room was just, I'd blocked the toilet because you don't put tissue paper down the toilet, but I didn't have the strength to use that vicious, it's like a jet of ice cold water. And no, thank you. It was horrendous. Now, I thought I could when I blinked, my eyes didn't open again because I didn't have enough liquid in me. I couldn't read. I could barely see at this point. I was having to pull my eyes back open. I thought, this isn't good. Now, the problem is you can't go to hospital in this particular place I went because if they find certain things, I mean, look, most of you have been around here long enough to join the dots here, but I thought I'd rehydrate myself. I know how to do it. I know, you find a vein and you stick water in it. But because I couldn't see properly, I think I think Chat GPT or me got the maths wrong. So I had to come back to Phnom Penh, and after they'd done a few little checks, the old blood pressure and the old pulse and all that, they threw me on whatever they call it, like a bed on wheels. And he said to me as I was going along, as a nurse was trying to get a drip in me, like, it's like, love, there's none left. You can't do it like that. He said, you're nearly dead, mate. He said, you could die before we get you into the room. And when I got in there, he said, you're having organ failure right now. Right now, your organs are failing. Your kidneys are in real trouble. And they filled me up with all sorts of stuff, bless them, and looked after me really well. And the one saving grace, he said, he's like, my liver looked like a football in my stomach. It was like I had this massive bulge, like where it had just sort of distended. And that sort of worries you, especially at my sort of advanced vintage. But that went down. The kidneys stopped aching. I tell you what, once they'd got some electrolytes and some water in me, and I could actually drink water, I done about, well, how many of these come in a crate? There's 12 of these in a crate. I done half a crate of these. What's that? 2 litre? It's got to be about that, isn't it? Or 1.5. I done about half the crate and didn't have a piss for like 4 days because I just was like a dry and broken leaf. Got out of there, and I've just been trying to get back to some sense of, I'm not. That's why I didn't stream, because I haven't been up for it. I haven't been able to do it. I haven't been able to think properly. All those phone calls I told you that I made, and the people in the hotel that were knocking on the door and saying, "Come on, Dave, we want to go out on the piss," and that happened about 5 times. It took about a week or 2 after I got back. None of that happened. None of that happened. I didn't make it. I asked the geezer in Phnom Penh to go and get me a load of rubber in Phuket, just like out of the blue. And he said to me, the problem is the river gets really tight. And he said the tribes on that river, they're really protective over their rubber plantations. He said, I'll do it, but we're going to have to negotiate. And I was just like, well, all right, how much is it going to be for like 50 kilos of like, pure latex and all this nonsense? And as I was sort of getting better after I got let out of the madhouse, I realised that none of that happened. There was no phone calls, WhatsApp, telegrams, you name it, on my telephone. And as if there were subscribers in the hotel. What's the chances of that? And it was all hideous. It was all terrible. I take some very stupid risks, and sometimes it doesn't pay off. But it's lovely to be back. It is lovely to be back. Now, if you read my story on I am not a real person on my Substack, it got a lot of reads actually. Not so many comments, but it wasn't really one there was a lot to say about. I joined Threads, and I was shifting novels on Threads like nobody's business. And then I got banned from Threads for no reason. It said, send us your phone number and take a selfie. Sent them my real phone number that my Threads account was on, like something I don't usually do. It's usually all asked about tip because I live in a different country and all this. But no, that's no problem. Here's a selfie. They went, it's all right. Usually takes about a day. It's just a check. 3 hours later, you're banned. You can't appeal this decision. See ya. And I was like, wow. Now, to have a Threads account, you've got to have an Instagram account. So I've also set up an Instagram account. Check it out if you want. Dangerfield Chris. Some interesting photos, all that shit. But I've kept that because I have to. Now I'm a professional writer. Although I've only got about 100 subs, in 3 years I'll have about 2,000. And it's part of letting people know you've got new books out. The book I've been writing for 10 years is a third finished, by the way. When you can do next to nothing but sit down, that's what I've been doing. And it's excellent. It's excellent. I mean, this is a great novel. It's a lovely commercial novel. It's a great read. But the one I've been writing for 10 years is a great, nice one, Picard, is a great work of literature. And I've got some really good news on this. I've got some really good news. It's big. Go on, Pack. You can put that down, son. It's big in Japan. I'm big in Japan. Like, you can get this in bookshops and libraries.
Like Alphaville?
Pardon?
Like Alphaville?
Is that a band or a TV show?
Yeah, it's a band, yeah.
Yeah, that's it's a saying, isn't it? It's like become like an idiom, big in Japan. When you're a British band that doesn't do very well, the record label sends you out to Japan because you've got a better chance simply because you're an English rock band. But listen, if you're on the fence, get it now and help me out. If you've enjoyed 12 years of streaming, help me out. But here's where I help you out and you help me out. We help each other out. You can go to your local library. You'll be surprised. Most towns still have them. Go in there and say, have you got Love in the Time of Nudie, Max, by Chris Dangerfield? They'll type it in. Some have. I've had the reports back. Most haven't. But when they haven't, they'll say, would you like me to order it for you? So you can read it for free. And I still get my cut of the sale. So if you'd like to read it and you can't afford it, or it's just too much of a luxury, go to your local library. They'll order it and they will do it. And here's a weird thing I found out doing all this research. Libraries have got loads of money, but people don't use them. That money goes back to the government if they don't spend it. So they like it when you go in there and say, can you order that? So that's something to think about, and you'll have a great read as well. You're doing it in an afternoon if you're a fast reader, or a few days if you're not. Anyway, so there's all that. Right. What else have I got to say to you? Right. Because I haven't got a lot to talk about because I haven't been engaged with culture, which is weird as a cultural critic. I have grabbed a few clips. So let's have a little look at this one first. I've got to remember how to do all this. Share screen. Right, there you go. Let's have a little look at this one. Tell me what you think. For those of you that don't know, Arsenal are Premier League champions. Any company that says
I
sports
thought it was
ball,
because Tottenham might be going down.
well, that's going to the Champions League, winning the Champions League next week will be the cherry on the icing. But if Tottenham go down, that'll be the gold leaf on the cherry on the icing.
You
But-
can officially call it the treble.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, all that sports ball lark. Unless you spend your entire life engaged in and actively making positive changes to the situation in your country and have no hobbies or anything that just gives you pleasure, you have no right to slag me off for that. It's an absolute nonsense. I'll tell you, I've been talking to football about a lot, the iconoclast, because Sunderland have had a fantastic season. And he's getting it as well. And he said to me, fucking hell, what's all this sports ball stuff? I just went, I just said, just ignore her. Right. No, I have actually got some real clips. I've got some funny stuff as well, some interesting stuff. I got a mate. I met him in rehab, right? And he went to that big march that happened the other day. And this is him. And he meets Nick Shirley as well. Let me get the right video. Hang on, hold your horses. So this is quite interesting. I don't know anything about the march, or is it one of Tommy Robinson's ones?
Yes, United Kingdom.
Right. So this is, but he has a big old shout at, I don't know how to do it, Packer. That ain't it, is it? I need to make it bigger. Is that right? There you go. Here, have a look at this, people. Because he has a bit of a rant at the 10 Downing Street.
650, 649.
Oh, here we go. Just realised where we are. There he is,
Here,
number
right,
10. Number 10. Home of the traitor. Do you realise that you guys are protecting a domestic terrorist? You guys are getting...
So the geezer you can hear shouting is my mate who I met in rehab about 20 years ago. We're still friends. He's a good lad. But he was a proper leftist. Not so much anymore.
paid to protect a domestic terrorist. You should be going into that building and dragging him out and putting him in a fucking cage. Keir Starmer is a traitor. He's a treasonous cretin. He should be dragged out. He should be dragged out and he should be held to account. And I know that you're just doing a job. And I know that you guys lean one way or the other. But there's going to come a time when you guys need to choose a side. And that guy that lives at number 10 is a traitor. And he should be tried as such. That's me. Sorry.
It's just unreligious.
Yo, that's fucking Nick Shirley. Yes, my brother. Respect. Nick Shirley.
It's just unreligious, really.
This is number 10 Downing Street. This is where the Prime Minister of the UK lives.
Right here. You're
In there somewhere. You got to go through that door over there, and he lives in there somewhere.
And do you think the police are complicit in what's happening here?
Well, I think that the police have to.
There you go. You get the idea. I thought that was quite sweet. I thought that was quite sweet of him doing all that. So, Packer, can you give me what? Tell me what happened. What was that? Unite the Right? Was it or Unite the Empire? What was it?
Yeah, Tommy did another rally like he did last year, and got a lot of. I don't think the New Zealand Maoris turned up this year, but it was more along the same lines.
Right, listen, I want to say a massive thank you to Charlie Sparkles, who does get a moment in the sun, who's bought me a future over on Buy Me a Coffee. Packer's indicating that for you right now. I like the way you looked up then, Packer, as if you'd be able to see it. That's incredible. There it is. Charlie Sparkles, thank you very much, love. Let me just... work out how to do it. There we go. Bosh, bosh, bosh. Look, hang on, where are you? There we go. There. Look, even with visual effects. Charlie Sparkles bought you a future. Charlie, you'll get a video later. You'll enjoy that. Well, I imagine you will. I can't say for sure. I would though, because I like the sound of my own voice. And while we're at it, if I'm correct, it would look like Steve the Puntica Campbell has dropped $10. Nice one. All right then. Is that your Northern? Say that, Packer. You're Northern. I know you're not, but you are.
All right there.
All right there, you great lump of fertilizer. Come and sit beside me, you lump of fertilizer, and show me what you can do with those big wellies and that big axe of yours. And we've also got Charlie Sparkles has joined the firm. I can appreciate a lot of people dropped their membership, and that's understandable. It would also be understandable if you rejoined. Charlie, I don't know how to get that. Thank you, Stephen, for that. That deserves a bit more time. Hang on, it would appear JP has been on the firm for 55 months. Hoyt to that. Charlie, Hoyt to that. And Charlie dropped Buy Me a Coffee. So that's lovely. And Stephen Campbell. And while I've been speaking, no less, Lars, are you gonna will you proofread and format my? It's going to be about 650 word book. We'll sort out some money. That's what I said about the last one. I still ain't paid him, but I will do. He hasn't asked. I even offered him. I said, "Do you want to sort?" He said, "Listen, how lovely Lars is. Not only did he do a fantastic job that would have cost me money I couldn't afford. I could not afford to get that formatted. It would have just sat there until the likes of Stephen Campbell and Charlie Sparkles dropped me a few shekels here and there." But Lars, I said, "How do you format it?" Just asking questions. He went, "Send it over, I'll do it." It ain't an easy job, people. There's no chapters or anything in this book. It's all just... And he done a cracking job. And he said to me in the email, he said, "Look, don't worry about the money yet. You can give me some of that off of the royalties." And then a few weeks later, Lars, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm sure I said to you, do you want some money for that? And you said, "No, we'll sort that out later." So maybe we can add that to the next one. And we'll just keep building it up. And then in like 8 novels time, 8 novels time, I'll be able to give you a big old stack of like £100 notes. But honestly, I know I keep saying it, but he was so much help in making that book. Don't forget though, people, go and order that from your library. You can read it for nothing. Amazing. No way has Ted gone fishing, and yet he's still been a member for 70 months. And he says, "Hello, Danger, been a while, mucker." Ted. I've been. You might have missed the beginning, but I've been on death's door. I got stupid. I tried to do the work of trained medical professionals whilst laying on a bed of plop. Sterile environment. Marzipan has been on the firm for 56 months. Zeitgeist 63, and look at him calling out JP. Look, hang on, what was JP on? JP was on 55. I love grown men giving it the large. JP, 53 months. Call yourself a member. You've got it's so lovely to be here, you wonderful bastards. Have you noticed how much I've picked up since we started? I haven't felt this alive since before I got sick. And just having Picard, I fucked it then. Did you see that? Picard went that way. Just having Picard, just seeing you lot. We got 85 people here. Nothing wrong with that. Look at that, Picard. 63 months, same as you, guys. Packer's too nice for any of that. Right. But Ted's gone fishing. He's still the winner. It's a full 7-0. It's incredible. Although, no, he is the winner. Right. Well, that was all lovely. That was a lot of content that I otherwise wouldn't have had because I can't concentrate. I tell you what, though, the novel I've been working on 10 years. Now I'm actually getting it done. It's fucking brilliant. I can't believe it. And well, that's ridiculous, isn't it? Hang on a minute. Can I actually sit here and just say the novel I'm working on is fucking brilliant? I can say that, and you should say that. People should say that. Packer is like a handyman at an old people's house. Are you any good at it, Packer?
I can do it with my eyes shut. I was born.
There you go. And that is how you should be in life. Unless you're not, if you're doing something that's shit, you also need to admit that. And that allows you to move on. That allows you to make a different decision. Because if you don't make different decisions and what you're doing is rubbish, you need to stop doing it. You need to move on. You know, the amount of people I know, I mean, you know what I feel about mental illness anyway, but when people go, I'm so depressed, I'm like, really? Really? How's that job down McDonald's going? Yeah. You still with that bird that beats you up? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you still smoking weed for breakfast? Yeah. Right. Wonder why you're depressed. That's weird. And then they go to me, they go, no, it's not that. It's like, it's a mental illness. Like I've got depression. I go, no. You've got a shit life based on your decisions. And unless you change them, it's going to carry on. But you don't need to worry about that because when you go and tell the doctor, he's going to give you a lot of drugs. And then you're going to be like this. You'll have no more depression. You won't have any joy. You won't have any passion. You won't have any jouissance. I've dropped that in for Boris if he's still here. You won't have a lust for life. You'll just be that. And that is exactly how the government wants you. A docile body. Just consuming, producing next to nothing. A couple of burgers. I spat when I said that. The amount of time I spit when I'm talking to my missus, like it's hard having a missus who's like 4. I love it too much. Oh, it's so lovely to be back, you wonderful bastards. Right, let's have a little. There's a bit more Nick Shirley, but I think we've done that. Right, let's have a little look at this. I know you can't see anything at the moment. Have you heard of Homer? Hashtag no homosexual, no Homer. I fucked it, didn't I? I ruined my channel then in an instant. Homer wrote the Odyssey. Now there's a little bit of speculation that he didn't write it, that it's an oral tradition, that it's an oral history. You know, he didn't sit down with his quill and write, across the seas did I venture across, you know, no. But maybe, who knows? It's interesting to some. But Christopher Nolan, who is Hollywood royalty, he can make any movie he wants, right? It'll get funded, it'll get full support from the legacy media. He's making a movie of Homer's Odyssey, like one of the most important sort of fundamental collection of stories of Western civilization, right? Right? You've heard of it. You've heard of the Iliad. You've heard of the Odyssey. I mean, you've heard of Achilles by any chance? I mean, it's part of the doxa, Achilles heel. You know, we use it as an idiom. Have a look at this. I've only learned all this today, so I haven't got a lot to say about it, but I've certainly got enough. Right. So this is from a website called Hungarian Conservative, which is always good. See that there in the middle? That is Elliot Page. I think it used to be Ellen Page. It's a biological female who identifies as a bloke. So she says I'm a geezer. That's it. Right? She stands about 5'1". Let me get there's actually some details here. She stands about 5'1", and you know, you can you don't get a feeling of where is it? You don't get a feeling of a great warrior there. And Achilles was a great warrior. So we've got a transgender playing Achilles.
On that note, I seem to remember a year or two back, Scarlett Johansson was due to play a transgender in a film.
And they said you've got to have a transgender player.
Yeah. So what is a transgender actor doing playing a straight white man?
Well, it doesn't work both ways, does it? That's the beauty of their bullshit. Now, here's where it gets even weirder. See the woman on the right there? See her there? See her there? Can you see my cursor? Can you see my cursor?
Yes, Chris. Yes, I can see your cursor.
Sorry. The woman on the right is playing in this movie in one of the most sort of significant's the wrong word, but you know, relevant books of Western civilization. Homer's Odyssey. That woman on the right is playing Helen of Troy. Helen of Troy. Look at Helen of Troy. Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then we've got
where was Troy?
Sorry, I've got a dangerous insect getting dangerously close to my feet. Go on, piss off. No, don't come back at me that quick. I don't know. Persia. This is my guess when anyone asks. Laos will know. Oh, Ricky. Yeah, I see that. Hello, Rule of the Dance. I see Ricky Doolin and his. Ricky do you remember when him and Laura Taylor had a chat? That was beautiful. We might have to watch a bit of that. Ricky Doolin and his diversity band singing all the keys at once. Yeah, it was disgraceful. Did you see him heel that Muslim bloke's knee on the pavement as well? He was going, in the name of Jesus, you will walk, you will walk. And then he said to the bloke, go on, get up and walk. And he did. Like he did before. It's just like, what? Hang on. Latus, go on, what is it? Of course, what? I don't know what you're talking about. You've lost me there, son.
Of course you know, but apparently, according to Zeitgeist, it's modern day Turkey.
Oh, there you go.
She looks Turkish.
So, I was near enough. Hello, Mega Essex boy. Hello, mate. Ahoy to you. Now, So we've got the transgender playing the warrior Achilles. We've got Ellen of Troy here. This bloke in Homer's Odyssey is a rapping bard. So, you know, like, think Shakespeare. Think of the geezer that comes along with his lute. In a town of many suns did come, and the weather was fine and free. I did not look down at the neighbour's breast, 'cause the breast was looking at me. Well, he's rapping in it. He's a rapper. He raps in it. So you're going to have this little 5'1" man woman, like with his like arrow, minding out for his heel, and then this geezer's going to go, yeah, Helena Troy, she got a fucking suntan, but she was with Achilles, who is neither woman nor man. It's like, what has happened? Umberto Eco travels in hyperreality. Read it. Called all this years ago. And it's just going to be one of those things. I mean, I can't wait to watch it. It's probably already on this. I've got this website that's got everything ever on it. Like, I see The Punisher, the final kill. Shit. It's shit. I mean, a character like The Punisher, they got that really good actor who played The Punisher in the previous Punisher. It's so bad. I could have written that script in an afternoon. It's so bad. There's like chaos on the streets, panic on the streets of London. There's like chaos on some American streets, but he goes to his wife's grave and says, I've put all my guns. Well, he doesn't say it, but it's implied by his actions. But essentially, he's put all his guns away and he's not going to be this mad Punisher going around killing people. And he puts his key. Now, I'll tell you what, if you locked up guns with a key like that, I'd be in that lock in half a second. Seriously. It's not even a joke. It's just a rake in. He puts it on her grave as if to say, I'm not that man anymore. But then he realises that he sees how bad, and it's chaos. It's absolute chaos. It's a bit like that film, what's the Brad Pitt film with all the zombies where they run really fast and they make themselves a hill so they can climb up Z Zombie Z Nation, Attack of the Z Zombies. Someone will know in the chat.
Something Z War thing, isn't it?
That's it. World War Z, look, he's always all over it. Nice one, Lartus. John said, can we talk about IQ yet? I think it speaks for itself with the photo on the screen. I'll have to get rid of that, actually. It's giving me the quivers. But yeah, that's the Odyssey anyway. Homer's Odyssey. Well, Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. I mean, it's all about representation. It's all about, a modern look at it. Yeah, but it doesn't need it. You're going to make it worse. You can only make it worse. The reason it survived so long is because it's Homer's Odyssey. It's like got so many, it's got what's the word? It's like an allegorical storm, and they're going to take all those allegories out and have one message. Stop being horrible to leftists. That's it. That's what the Odyssey will be. So that's a bit of a shocker. What was I talking about, Picard? World War Z, zombies. Oh yeah, the Punisher. So it's a bit like that. Everywhere you look, there's someone shooting someone or someone like knocking someone out. It's just like the world's gone mad. Oh, the world's gone mad. And then this sort of gang of people start attacking this family, and the Punisher goes in there and he's like, I can't let this go on anymore. And you're thinking, hang on, but why is it like this? What's caused this? There's no story. I'm all right with no story in a weird way, but not when it's trying to have a story. You can't have both. You can't have both. And then he just goes, fuck it. He goes back up to the grave, picks up the key, goes home, gets his guns, goes out, shoots a load of people, and then goes. Whoa! And I tell you what, I was thinking, this is all right. This is all right. You know, I wonder, you know, what's actually going to happen. And then the credits started rolling. I thought, what? Honestly, it's like the first 5 minutes of a real movie. I just thought, nah. Stephen Campbell has grifted again. Amazing. The AI parody of it shown in BPS vid sums it up. What's BPS? What's BPS, Stephen? Thanks for the donation, mate. But what's BPS? I feel like I'm well out of the. I don't know what it's even called. Loop. Hang on. All right, calm down. Trying to do two things at once. I can't do it. It looks like I'm going to get in some kind of trouble here, but I didn't say it.
Black Pigeon Speaks.
Oh, of course. All right, we're going to have a look at that, Stephen. That's a great call. Have a look at this, people. Look, with special visual effects as well. John Palmer. Free futures as well. Thank you, John. Amazing. Welcome back, bruv. I can't wait to see the face that launched 1,000. No. You read that for yourselves, people, but I can't say that. Ta-da! Cheers, John. Cheers, John. It is Machano Caprascia Tito, of course. But, yeah, you caught me out a bit there, you bastard. Right,
John was in the Navy, by the way.
Pardon?
John was in the Navy, by the way. That covers that then.
There you go. I don't even know what Packer's talking about either. I don't know what's happening at all. Right, let's how do you spell pigeon? Oh, here we go. Right, hang on. So is there a video about it, or is Oh, I thought you meant there might just be like a little, like a 3-minute. Let's have a look and see what he's got to say anyway. Let's have a look. Hang on. There might be some timestamps or something. Stephen, in the chat, tell me, is there somewhere in the Black Pigeon Speaks video where he's got like a little 2 or 3 minute AI version? Is that what you're saying? It's hard to find in his vid. No, we've got plenty of time. I've got nothing to say. I'm fucking knackered. I nearly died. I mean, I know it carries very little weight in this channel because it's not the first time. Oh, I'll find it. Don't worry about that. I'm having a bit of trouble finding it. Oh no, I've seen this clip. It's brilliant. I've seen this bit. This is from you've all seen 300. You know 300 with all the 6-packs and like great movie, great action movie. So there's a bit, you know, the bit where he's standing, the bloke from the other tribe comes over and sort of says, you know, that he wants to sort something out. And the classic line is, "This is Sparta!" And he boots him into this sort of forever hole, you know, just like Nietzsche's void. And so is that the bit you're talking about, Stephen? Even if it isn't, it's definitely going to be worth a little look because I've seen it before and it had me giggling. Right, here we go. Share screen. Right, if I put that over there, I can make it full screen. There you go. And then I can do this. Oh, no, I'm remembering how it works. Don't worry. By the way, people, I will be streaming a couple of times a week again. This is the start of it all. But do consider my Substack. But no, you don't have to think about it. Wait till you get the next short story, and I'll explain all the benefits. But if you don't subscribe for the price of a coffee a month, you'll still get what you've always got. You're not going to lose anything. That's really important, because I like people reading my stuff. So check this out. It's not this bit that's on the screen right now, but it's a lovely little reworking of the "This is Sparta." The character is this Elliot Page character, and because I forgot to put the volume on, I've got to do it again. Not quite learned how to do it. Can't believe we've still got 80 people here. Amazing. There you go with sound. Why don't they always? Who wants to share a screen clip without sound? I mean, it's obviously you should have it. The default should be with sound, shouldn't it? Not the other way. Anyway, let's have a watch of a little bit of this. I like that. I think it's just coming up after this bit, people. How do I press play? Let's try there.
Of bodily perfection, youthful vigor, and martial virtue.
King Xerxes offers his respect, ma'am. All he asks is that Sparta kneels a simple bow and your people will be spared.
Right, so this is that's Elliot Page. It's weird, isn't it? It's weird with some of these transgenders because the face is like having a permanent argument between whether it's male or female. But let's take it back 5 minutes, and here we go. It is funny. So, if just in case you haven't seen the film, after this King Xerxes offers this deal, he wants an apology or something. The geezer, the Spartan, he just boots him down the hole. Right? It's quite a good. If you haven't seen 300, you've got to watch it. It's a great film. Here we go.
Offers his respect, ma'am. All he asks is that Sparta kneels a simple bow and your people will be spared.
Don't call me ma'am.
My apologies, miss. Xerxes is generous. He only wants your loyalty. Surely even a delicate thing like yourself can understand that.
Hang on. Please take note of the scars under the breasts. It's quite. I didn't see it at first. Look. See the old reverse boob job. Oh, that's a grotty detail to bother putting in a pastiche, but nonetheless.
Xerxes is generous. He only wants your loyalty. Surely even a delicate thing like yourself can understand that.
I said don't f***ing misgender me.
Ma'am, calm down. No need to get emotional.
It is so.
Nothing. Didn't work.
And this desecration carries even heavier weight.
Oh, it's great stuff. That's a good call, Stephen. I'll put the link to that in the chat because that looks like a good Black Pigeon Speaks video. There you go. That's brilliant. Because in the original, he boots him down the hole. He laughs at her, him, who knows? Hard to say. Hard to care, really. Oh, good Lord. Hello, Toffee. Let's say some hellos because it's been a while. Right, here we go. Let's start here. Hello, Ams. How are you? Good to see thee. Pags is on the firm. Blogs is on the firm. Give him a thumbs up, Scrubs. Coming back from the dead ain't easy. Cheers, Bill. Give the video a thumbs up, people. That would be a price you can R2. Also, I do have the Buy Me a Coffee link open, so when donations come through on there, you do get your moment of glory. But if I don't, put it in the chat and Picard will give me a little nudge. Speaking of which, JP's dropped another one, which is absolutely wonderful. I'm just going to... don't make me put... John, I'm going to have to dub some of that out, you know. Right. Let me just do that. Oh, I think we can get away with that. Well, I won't see you next week after I put this up. Nice one, Bill. Hope you're all right. I believe in free speech, so I'm going to just put John's comment up on the screen. You can read it for yourself. He says this: I saw a great video by some yellow-looking dude talking about the Punisher. He had a meltdown talking about his Jufro and how anti-white it was. A comic book reader, I agree. It was dog shit. What, you saw the last kill, one more kill by the Punisher? You've seen it, John. Thanks for that donation, mate. Machano Caprage Tutti. Yeah, it was shit, wasn't it? Did you get the same thing that I got, that you thought it was just starting? I couldn't believe it. I honestly thought, right, this is the sort of, this part of America's in trouble. He's going to get his guns out, and then there's going to be a hero's journey, some kind of story arc. And it just ended. He just shot a few people and it ended. And it weren't even one last kill. It was like 20 or 30. Did you get that, John? Anyway, who else have we got here? We've said hello to Pags. Have we said hello to Toffee? Hello, Toffee. Hope you're well, son. Slim Yin's in. Slim Yin. Citizens United negating tech. Oh, that's interesting. Tell the Garden Gnome story. I can't. It's on YouTube. Just search Crack Gnome story. I might be writing up the Crack Diaries as a novel next year, and I'll drop that story into it. But I can't. It's only funny when you don't know it. Do you know what I mean? I can't. I'll be sort of I've done such a good job the first time. It'll only ruin it. But I'm glad you like it. What a wicked what weird things did the universe have to contrive to get it to all turn out like that? Like me, pants down, turd near me. Gnome, pants down, turd near him. I couldn't believe it. I thought I've had a weird life, but this takes a biscuit. Captain Picard is on the phone. Hello, mate. How are you? Hello, John. Lovely to see thee. Who else? Baz is on the firm. Good to see. Otto's in here. Otto notices stuff. Lilith missed Packer. I mean, nothing. I did too. There's a couple of us in here.
Thank you, Lilith. Oh, nice one. Yeah, excellent. Hello, everyone.
You look like a little boy then, Picard. I couldn't do it. I was thinking, two can play at that game, Lilith. Who else is in here who wants to say something that I haven't said hello to? Lilith liked it. Brad, you told me you had some. You were going down to your Bondray College or something, but that didn't happen, no. Or you prioritised the return of the Scrubs. Thank you, Stephen. I as I said that, I thought it was quite a good one. Well, Lilith, it's a weird one because it's a biological female, but she identifies as a woman, and apparently that's enough now. I mean, it's the end of civilization. That is the end of civilization. There's no. I've got a couple of videos I'll show you in a minute, and you're like, what? What? And yeah, it's all that kind of malarkey. Let's see if anyone else jumps in the chat. Hello, Wolfie. Well, this will only mean something to the OG Scrubs. But it says, I wonder what Weirdos United are up to now. Well, they said they were going to set up their own channel, didn't they, when they got all shitty? I'll tell you what, I think I've told you before, but he used to donate so much money, and then one day he started saying something. I went, listen, I said, don't get all shitty like that in the chat. We don't do that around here. And he said, I've paid my money. I get to say what I fucking want. And I went, nah, No, it doesn't work like that. Moslab, bless him, and I doubt this is the sort of thing he'd want me to tell you, just because he's not that sort of person. He DM'd me. He said, "Listen," he said, "I know you're Brassic." He said, "And I know Weirdos Unite give you a fair wedge." He said, "But I'll stick 50 quid in your Patreon every month if you get shot of them because they're ruining it." Not what a lovely thing to say. You know, he felt like, and they were ruining it. They were just like dominating it, and it's very hard in my position. Like, but yeah, thank God. I mean, it would appear they had a very hard life, and I don't know whether that was all true or not what he said, but you still don't get to, you know, you don't buy your way into dominating a chat. It doesn't work like that. If you want to support the channel and me, that's great. But, you know, and I can't believe I'm saying this being a grifter and that, but it's a donation. It's not a ticket. It's not a ticket to ride. It's not a ticket to ride. It's a good call though, Wolfie. Good Lord. Oh my God. You read that, Packer? Oh, look at his face. Look at the guilt on him. Look.
Yeah, I was on with 42 on Saturday night.
All right. Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you, Lars. No, that's all right.
Hey, Chris, we was on a break.
A break. I was meant to be on. I was meant to go and relax. Who goes to relax and nearly dies? Good Lord. Well, me apparently. Yeah, I think so. Also, you know, because I improvised it as I told the story, I left so much out. So even people who've seen the videos, there's so much more horrific stuff. If you really like desperation porn, that'll make a great novel. Yeah, I won't call it the Crack Diaries though. I think that's a bit lame. Willow Wookie is on the firm. And yes, yeah, a real mistake, and not just a mistake of her own, a mistake of the society that lets that happen, a mistake of the culture that makes that reasonable. It's awful. Hello, Hugging K9M. Salmon Boff Island. Hello, Chris. Really wonderful. Long time lurker. You just showed up. I haven't seen you for ages. Nice to see you're okay. Okay would be an exaggeration. Maybe you didn't see the beginning of the video, but I'm getting there, and it's lovely to see you. But I got it wrong. Sam on Boff Island. So I'm just going to go for Sam on Boff Island. Okay. Lovely. Lovely to see you.
Sam on Boff Island.
What's that? Go on.
Sam on Boff's Island.
What's Boff's Island?
I don't know.
That's why you love Packer, man. Yeah, he said it with such gusto. It was so committal. Well, it's Sam on Boff's Island. What's Boff's Island? Don't know.
And you been?
Oh, you just reminded me of something, man, and it's flown. Actually, someone else did. Right. This has got to be said. I know a load of scrubs got into investing when I was giving out that very hard to read, rambling investment. Right, I know a load of did because they used my code, and you know we all got our free shares. I know there's a load of you still in it because I get the emails. Now I was telling people index funds or exchange traded funds, yeah. The S&P or S&P trackers, the NASDAQ, which are both at all-time highs. So anyone who got involved in that when I was talking about it is having a lovely time now. Is having an absolutely lovely time. I also called NVIDIA. I also called Palantir. What else did I call? There was a couple of others I called that flew. And the last one I called about 6 months ago when the stock was at about 120 quid, which is now about 430 quid, was AMD. Yeah, man. So Scrubs are absolutely loving it. Talking about Weirdos Unite. He had a shit daughter. Yeah, but apparently there was some story that some geezer went to prison for interfering with her, and then when the geezer come out of prison, they killed him, and his brother went into prison. There was all, and I'm not saying it didn't happen, but they were a strange group of people, and it was weird because sometimes they were just all right, but you know, you only had to say the wrong thing, and they sort of went off the rails a little bit, and that's not really how it works around here. Good to see you, Mr. Gold. I hope you're well. John, did you answer me? Did you see The Punisher? Did you see it? And do you agree with me that it just didn't start? It was like the end. He did.
Yeah, and
Yes,
he agreed with you.
Yeah, it was like the end of a film. Ted wants to know, I didn't know you were here, Ted. Are we talking about one person or a group of people? Packer, any ideas?
He's chatting to Toffee about something. Fishing, I think.
Oh, okay. No worries. Toffee said, I'll pay you thousands to get rid of Wolfie, Packer and Lumia. Fair play. But DM me, you know, we'll work out how many thousands and, you know, who knows? I couldn't do it. Not those three. Come on. No way. Right, look, Wolfie's wounded. You've hurt him. You've hurt the poor lad. Who else haven't I said a thing to? What? Old Moslab. Yeah, it was really, you know, and he was serious. He just said, look, he understood the position I was in, but he also didn't want to ruin in something that he really liked. Hello, Sean. If you just got back, you've obviously started at the start. I'm getting there. You know, there's no long-term damage because it was dehydration and a lack of electrolytes. Once I was rehydrated, it kind of repairs itself, so I should be okay. I don't feel great though, and you know, when the doctor said you've got to rest, yeah, so I'm up all night every night writing this novel, well, finishing it, and I'll be up all night tonight writing a short for Substack. So, but that's kind of resting, isn't it? I sleep half the day. Thank you, Sean. That's very kind of you. No one else said it. Packer did, actually. Brad James. Here's my middle phalanges. Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Bradley, for donating to the channel. Right. Let me just see. What's Lars got to say? I don't know, man. I don't know. I bought a kilo of gold once, and I worked out that if I still had it, it would have just short of doubled. But that was like 15, 16 years ago. And if I'm investing, and at the time that kilo cost me 32 FAL English, if I'm investing 32 grand, I want more than 46% return in 15, 16 years. I mean, so you can pay me. Yeah, I'll send you a screenshot of my portfolio. I mean, it's all very well that I will pay you, Lars. We'll talk about it. Hit me up on WhatsApp. Of course I will. I need you to do the next one. Alfie Taylor's doing well with BP. Well, I see what you've done there. I did have a little look at what are they called? Well, it's another oil company because of the Straits of Hormuz and all that. The oil prices are going up. So, but that's more of a trading position. I'm a long-term investor. I don't trade. I mean, if I bought any petrochemical stocks now, I'd have to look at them every day, and then work out when to get out. And I'm just not. More traders lose money than make money, and it's something like 95% lose. So that's not my game. But if you're doing well and you know when to take profits, fair play to you. John B bought Fart Coin. It's always good. Who did I look at? I can't remember the name. I did think a little bit about it.
Dottie's in, by the way.
Hello, Dottie. Hello, love. How are you? I'm still looking back. Ted was talking about Weirdos Unite, but the problem is, Ted, I can't remember what you said
My
the first time round. Was it the daughter comment? Because I think that's what I was talking about. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. I mean, I didn't give you too many details because not very nice. Not very nice. But what I did give you. Oh, that's very kind of you. It's very kind. Yeah, we really do miss him, but something. He had one of the worst things that can happen to you happen, and he pops in occasionally. He pops in. Thank you, Dave Thomas. Lovely. Yeah, I'll be back on it twice a week, at least twice a week. But I'm going to say twice a week while I'm still recovering. Do you know what I mean? And it'll likely be weekends or Friday nights. What day is it today? Friday night. Well, oh no, it ain't. It is for me, but it's still Thursday evening for you, isn't it? Hello, Dottie. How are you, love? Did you get your private video over there on Buy Me a Coffee? I hope you did. I bought a kilo. 36 ounces in a kilo. Is it? No, 28. Fucking hell, I can't remember. 28 ounces. Yeah, I think it's 28 ounces. No, 28 grams in an ounce, 36 ounces in a kilo. Isn't that the drugs game? Confusing imperial metrics. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Can you do us an 8 for skunk, mate? Yeah, 3.5 grams. What? It's the same. Anyway. John says bloody straight of Hormuz, 116 to fill up my motor. Amazing. Right, let's have a look at a couple of videos. These are actually funny, but in the same way as all this leftist madness is funny, it kind of, So it's my man Warren Smith, and it's a father who goes to one of these school meetings. I suppose the UK version is a PTA, Parents Teachers Association, and all they do, as Warren Smith repeatedly tells you, is just try and shut him down. They just don't want him to tell the facts, but rather than just say no, we don't want you talking about that, they there's a workaround, and it's really sly. Check it out. It's only a short video, but check it out. But fair play to the old man. He's got kids at the school, and he's like, I'm not having it. I'm not having you teaching this bullshit to my kids. So hang on, let me do that. Bosh. Here we go. But fair play to the dad. But look, I don't really need to say this because Warren keeps pointing it out. But watch out. It just doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. For people who've arrived late, you can order my novel from libraries. So if you haven't got the money, if you haven't got the spare 15 quid or whatever it is, go to your local library, say, have you got Love in the Time of Nudie Mags by Chris Dangerfield, or just a title. If they haven't already got it in stock, some have, but if they haven't, they'll type it into their computer. It'll come up. I guarantee that. It'll come up and they'll order it for you. And they've got money. I've found all this out. They are desperate to order books. But when it's them ordering books, they don't know what people want. So when people go in and are like, I want this book, I ain't got the money to, I haven't got the free money to spend on it, they'll order it for you and you can read it. And I'd love you to read it. I'd love you all to read it. It's a good, fun book. And if you're a teenager in the 80s, I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. Packer doesn't read. His missus told me he couldn't put it down. And she was talking about the book and not his glands. Glands. Right, check this out. Here we go.
This dad absolutely decimated the school board and calls out the superintendent.
Dr. Kelly King is sitting right here to my left.
All they can do is try and shut him down by claiming, hey, you can't point these things out because that's a personal attack.
Dr. Kelly King makes over $250,000 a year. Every 4 years, we give her $1 million. And she's doing things that I completely disagree with. In a recent video in 2017, she reflected.
So notice he uses the name at the beginning, Dr. Kelly. In 4 years, earns $1 million of taxpayers' money just to promote leftist orthodoxy to very young children.
Glendale Unified Policy when she stated, we have a lot of resistance from male coaches who are horrified at the thought of having a biological girl changing clothes in front of them. Which biological girls are changing clothes in front of coaches in Glendale Unified? That's a question I'm genuinely asking. She continued, it's not a girl. It's not a girl. It's not a girl.
Right, this is key. So she said beforehand about biological females getting changed in front of men. And then she said it's not a girl. So what? So it's neither or, either or? Who knows? Because it doesn't make sense, as you all know. But they've already had enough of this. You can imagine the board now all looking at each other. Oh, how can we shut him up? You know, there'll probably be 100 parents in the audience.
You only have boys in the boys' locker room. She just said it was a biological girl.
May I just start
I'm
for a
speaking
moment?
now. You're not. No, I'm speaking. This is interrupting my time.
We can see the school board try and shut this down. They really don't like this. And they're going to use the common strategy. What you're saying, sir, is a personal attack. Therefore, you can't say it.
Well, we
Can I
can
pause
pause
this,
the
please?
time. Can you pause the time for a minute? I only want to say that to refrain from personal attacks. So please.
She is a government official.
This guy does a good job because he can clearly see the game that's being played.
She's a government employee. This is not a personal attack. I pay her salary. With
This woman is literally trying to say, don't use her name. Don't use her name. Now that causes a problem when he's trying to make his point. And so that's their way of silencing him. And if you can do that once, and did you see him? He said, don't interrupt me. This is my time. Now she's paused the time. But it turns out, according to their own rules, this isn't a debate. This is where a parent who's got a kid at the school is allowed to come up and say something. It's not something that they debate with this school board. That's their rules, and he knows it, and it's very good.
my
So,
tax dollars.
Again, please talk towards the policies that you
I'm
are
talking about-
against
and
and refrain from personal attacks.
And on top of that, it's not strictly a policy. You know, I doubt this is written down anywhere. So it's very clever. Don't mention names and what they've said. Talk about policies. But what is this policy? You know, it's probably not even a what they call him in America. Well, it's not. It's probably not at a federal level. So he hasn't got a clue. It's not something that's actually in writing somewhere. So it's just like, no, we're not having this. We're leftists and we support this. It's ridiculous.
Calling out a superintendent's actions at a school is a personal attack. We would never be able to call out that superintendent.
In what way have I personally attacked Dr. King? She is acting within her official role as assistant superintendent at Glendale Unified.
That's the best thing you can do in a situation like this, is get specific. In what way am I attacking her? How am I attacking her? They can't respond.
How is that a personal attack? I'm talking about tax dollars being used in a way that I disagree with. I'm going to continue.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant to see parents getting up there. He knows this is going to cause him problems. He knows this is likely going to cause his child to come under some kind of attack. Do you know what I mean? Oh, your parents is a Trump supporter. And because all the other kids have been indoctrinated, they'll start pulling away from her and ostracizing her and all that bullshit. They're such cunts, leftists. I can't stand them.
Continue talking about the policy that you disagree with.
I'd have said to her, well, can you tell me what the policy is? What's the policy regarding transgenders? But, you know, he's doing a good job. When you're sitting in these places in front of a lot of people having the ball attack you, it's not easy to maintain logical thought.
King quoted to say that biological girls were changing in front of male coaches. And then, so she knows it's a biological girl, and then proceeded to say it's not a girl 3 times. You know it's a girl. You know it's a girl.
Okay,
or you know
so
it's a
she's
boy,
an
you know
employee
it's a
of
boy.
ours.
How is he not calling out policy? This is the manifestation of policy.
And if you wouldn't mind telling us what policy you dislike.
There is why am I being interrupted for speaking about an official member, a superintendent at Glendale Unified, speaking in an official manner? You cannot interrupt me for that. You have no ability to do that. And furthermore, the rules stated you won't debate. You're debating me right now.
School board meetings are an interesting place.
That's a brilliant. Your own rules say this ain't a debate. You're debating me.
They run similar to a courtroom, and you have an allotted time. It's almost like a congressional hearing. It is meant to allow the public the ability to speak.
I'm going to continue. In discussing permanent records, she states that she keeps permanent records for a handful of trans students literally next to her in her room. She does not indicate that person's gender identity for fear that the parent might find out.
So they brainwash these kids into identifying as the sex they were not born as, but she keeps them all on record next to her on her desk so that the parents don't know. I mean, I haven't got children. I mean, you'd be fucking furious, wouldn't you?
I've got a question,
furious.
Chris.
Go on.
Who else talks to kids about their sexual orientation and then keeps it a secret from their parents?
Yeah, there you go. I can think of one other group of people who operate in that manner. Yeah. It's like a PDF file on your computer, isn't it? They, you know, that's the sort of people who tells their children to maintain secrets regarding sexuality from their parents. It's our little secret. Oh my days! And they're trying to silence him. They don't want it. They don't want this said.
Why is she concealing this from parents?
And we can see on the sign in the background, this is in fact a middle school.
She says.
So what is that in the US? Like, I'd guess it was something like 8 to 11 middle school, something like that. But keeping it from the parents. I mean, if it is so serious, if it's a significant thing in someone's life, like if your kid was showing signs of what people call mental illness, what's the first thing the teachers do? Talk to the parents. If your kid is violent at school, what's the first thing they do? Talk to the parents. If your kid has swallowed all your leftist orthodox bullshit fountainry, what's the first thing you do? Hide it from the parents. It's absurd.
We kind of go out on a limb, and we know that's controversial to some people. Which people? Which parents? Armenian parents? Christian parents? Are those the ones who are being excluded from knowledge on their own children and their own identity in Glendale's Unified School District?
And this is the concern we've been hearing. This allows us to actually see how it plays out.
And you preach inclusive policies. We can talk about that policy. Yet she's excluding parents.
It's a great line. It's a great line. You know, you send your kids. You know, when we were young, my parents trusted school, and they weren't perfect. My school wasn't perfect, but there was conversation. There was a sense of we're part of the community. But blatantly withholding information that on the one hand you consider very serious and very important, and on the other hand making a sustained effort to not let the parents know. I mean, as Packer said, that's the sort of behaviour of people you don't really want around your children.
So
She's
again,
excluding parents. I'm going to continue.
And I might just ask for a pause and ask for information. Maybe I'm mistaken. Can you pause the time for a moment, Mr. Sahakyan?
You know, and even though these pauses aren't working because he's carrying on, they are sort of fracturing his message a little bit. But what he does get across, even though his actual point is being fractured and sort of broken up, he is getting across the point that they just don't want him talking about this. They don't want this. They don't want it. They don't want to talk about it. A meeting which exists for parents to talk about their experience of the relationship between the children, the staff, and the parents.
Thanks.
Real quick, the sponsor of today's video is Marsman. So with summer coming, maybe trying to support health insurance. The quality, if you don't like it, you can get your money back. But over to those reviews. For a limited time, our listeners can get .com when you check out.
So I wouldn't.
I sent you.
So I wouldn't mind getting input in terms of is this.
And they can't contend with anything he's saying, so they're going to fall back on their strategy of you're not allowed to call this out.
So my understanding, again, is that we are the arbiters of policy. That is our decision. And so our employees are operating based off of our direction and the direction up here at the dais. So it is appropriate to criticize the policy. It is appropriate to question that. It is not appropriate to personally attack and denigrate a specific employee.
Yeah, but whoa. If you are talking about a policy, what in any kind of polemic, if you're addressing an audience and you've got a problem with a policy, how do you explain that? By example. You can't just say, I mean, think about it. What else can he say? There's things going on at this school that I don't like. No, he's got evidence. He says this teacher does this. This teacher does this. That is talking about the policy in action. But them taking away his ability to name them actually makes it very difficult unless you're a very good speaker. And I'm not knocking him, but he's a parent, and I guess he's not a public speaker. It makes it almost impossible. And the constant interruptions, these people are, I mean, what world are they inhabiting?
I do not believe that is covered under the public comment.
I'm not personally attacking anybody.
Yes, you are, sir.
No, man.
I mean, that's amazing. I'm not attacking. Yes, you are. So what authority has she got to say he is? And that's just it. That, they draw a line under that. I'm not attacking her. Yes, you are. Okay. So it's just like, what? Yes, you are.
I'm not. I'm not personally
and now it's like a playground. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. You argue with idiots, you become an idiot.
attacking her. I disagree with what she said in her role as assistant
So then you
superintendent.
disagree with the policy, so please continue with the disagreement of the policy.
Yeah, but he's doing that and he's using evidence. He's giving you examples. How else do you talk about something like this in the abstract? It's not poetry.
I'm disagreeing with her, and this is not, you are debating me right now. You said you would not debate me. Why are you debating me?
So you're using that particular thing inappropriately, the fact.
So that is classic projection. So apparently, as I can glean, there's a rule that when someone comes up and talks, the board don't turn it into a debate, right? That's been established a couple of times. And then she has just projected on him. Let's just check that little bit out again.
Chris, the rule is there so that you can't argue with the board. That's what the rule is for. So that when they say things, you can't cross-reference or cross-examine and argue with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't
the
argue.
whole thing's
When
set
she
up.
says, yes, you are, you can't argue with her because it's not a debate.
Yeah, the whole thing is set up to be to not work, essentially, to take your power away. Hello, Jess. I'm getting there, love. I'm getting there. I'm not. If you go back to the beginning of the video afterwards, I had a bit of a rough time for a couple of months there, but I'm all right. I'm getting there. No long-term damage, I think. That's what they're saying anyway. But check out this projection. It's classic. It's textbook projection.
Personally attacking her. I disagree with what she said in her role as assistant
So then you disagree
superintendent.
with the policy, so please continue with the disagreement of the policy.
I am disagreeing with her, and this is not, you are debating me right now. You said you would not debate me. Why are you debating me?
So you're using that particular thing inappropriately, the fact that we don't debate. So
I am not.
So that's the projection. So she says, "Oh, so you're using that angle. The you can't debate me. You're using that angle, but you're using it inappropriately." Now, when I'm watching this, I'm seeing someone else using certain angles inappropriately, and she's just said what her and her mate have been doing since the beginning of his talk, where they're not meant to interfere in debating.
Attacking her personally. This is under her official role as assistant superintendent at Glendale Unified. You are not allowing me to speak freely in a government entity about a government employee. I pay her taxes. I have every right to speak about her in particular within her role. I'm not talking about.
Yeah, man, she's an employer. You employ her. You pay her $1 million every 4 years. Fucking hell.
Where she lives, what she looks like, anything like that. Nothing personal. This is purely professional, and this is purely governmental.
If you've read my novel, you'll know why purely professional is a funny line for him to say then.
Can I continue?
Try to keep it professional.
I've already told you what I'm doing, and I'm making that very clear, and I'm not going to change.
Yes.
Keep it professional.
What does that even mean? Try and keep it professional. This is how you can weaponize these concepts.
Yeah, it's a great point. What does that mean? Can anyone in the chat tell me what that means? Keep it professional. Yeah, but he's not a paid speaker, which is the definition of professional in this context. Keep it professional. Again, it's just an interruption. Just an interruption. Keep it professional. If I was her, I'd say, no, I'm going to keep it amateur because I'm an amateur. All right? You keep it professional, but you seem to... Yeah, exactly. You seem to have been failing to keep it professional. Fair play to him, though. I'm going to carry on.
No.
What does that even mean? Try and keep it professional. This is how you can weaponize these concepts.
I've only kept this professional. You were debating me, and you were violating your own rules.
So, Mr. Sahakian, go ahead and open the time again.
Thank you so much. Dr. Kelly King has worked with...
Straight in with her name again. Brilliant, brilliant.
Gender Spectrum, an organization which you guys have actually paid money to in several schools. If that's not a conflict of interest, I don't know what is. She's worked with...
They've been paying these gender spectrum groups.
Gender Spectrum to produce gender support plans. In these gender support plans, she ranks parents whether on how affirming they are on a scale of 0 to 10.
That's amazing. So she's got like a chart, some kind of a comma separated value spreadsheet, and it's like, oh, John Smith's parents, they affirm him. They don't affirm his switched gender, so they're a 2. I mean, why would you even need that? Why would you even what could you use that for? That's only there because you're obsessed. Wouldn't work that wouldn't help in a court of law. Well, I've got this spreadsheet here, and actually, John Smith's parents they affirmed their child's gender identity an average score of 2. A judge would just say, yeah, wipe your ass with that and give me some evidence. It's ridiculous.
Who determines that? Based on what criteria? I'd love to know that policy. She says, if the parent's not affirming, the parent may not be involved in this document. That's the gender support plan. This may be a private conversation. So let's talk personal now, because she is. This may be a private conversation between that trusted adult at the school. Is that adult trusted by the parent?
Who knows? Because they don't get to meet, because they deliberately kept them apart. No, this is our little secret.
Who is the trusted adult? Define trust, please.
Watch this back. Ask yourself, has the school board contended with a single point he has made? All I'm hearing is that
the answer is no.
And claim, hey, you can't say that. That's a personal attack.
This may be a private conversation between that trusted adult at the school and the student about how we keep you safe at home.
Can I just ask you, anyone with children that have either been to school and have left or are at school, that if you found out that there was an operation going on in that school where they were keeping tabs on the parents, they were deliberately keeping secrets from the parents, they've allocated a trusted person at the school, I mean, it's frankly mind-blowing. I mean, I've been listening to this bullshit for the last 5 years, but it never ceases to amaze me. When they're sitting around in their groups, do they not realise how barbaric this is? You know, they've actually written this up. Oh, we need a document that shows how affirming the parents are. Oh, we need to make sure that certain children's parents don't know that we've managed to convince them that they're not the gender that they were born with. And I'm deliberately using gender there because it was a word that was invented to deliberately complicate this conversation, by the way. It's interchangeable with sex for me, and that's it. I'm not buying that bullshit. I mean, they sat around and they had this conversation. To whose benefit? Who benefits from this? And it's bizarre to me that it's not the children, it's not even the school, it's leftist orthodoxy. That's who benefits from this. This is the product of the Long March.
Emotionally and physically. Who's personal? Who's professional? Personally, I'm being professional. What she has done and the policies none of you have spoken out against is a complete deviation from that sacred boundary between government and personal lives and privacy, especially of minors.
His logic is sound. He has the foundation, they do not. He's winning this.
And we're talking about sexuality, sexual identity, and you're not going to divulge that to parents intentionally? And again, she makes over $250,000 a year.
I can see no justification for the salaries that the superintendents and directors make. Meanwhile, the teachers make nothing.
Wow, 43%, only 43% of Glendale Unified High schoolers are proficient in math upon graduation. Only 65% are proficient in reading. And you pay that much money to institute those policies while you're failing, literally failing to produce the adequate students for the 21st century.
It's amazing. I think an American teacher gets about 40 grand a year, right? And they've got 60% of them can't read or write, and 40% of them haven't got a basic standard of maths. Yet they'll pay someone $250,000 a year to keep their their brainwashed sexual identity from their parents. I just don't get it. I'm just checking and buying me a coffee. Don't want anyone to miss out. No, we're all good there. Right, we've got another one from good old Warren Smith, but this one we get a bit of payback. Hang on. Because some clever student who realised, and I like this because it's the sort of precocious little bastard I was who thought I ain't putting up with this, decided to record the teacher in the class. Now it's not video, it's audio only, but listen to this. You can tell by the kids, they're about 12, 13, I'd guess, maybe a bit older. Just listen to what goes on in American schools and English schools, of course. But this is proof of American because, well, obviously it's in America. But listen to this. And fair play. The huge globalist leftist machine, the money behind it, the fact that the old bill are involved in it, the judiciary is involved in it, the media is involved with it, education from age like 3 to 18, just listen. Don't say that or you're racist, homophobic, all this other stuff. These kids push back and it's brilliant. Check this out. I think I'm going to have to do that. It's really nice after that last one to see the kids actually thinking, nah, this is bullshit.
Students in the UK recorded this audio of them.
Oh, it's UK. Sorry, I'm not lying. I have seen it. I just forgot that they were UK. I've got to turn it up a bit. Let me know if there's an echo. There shouldn't be.
Students in the UK recorded this audio of them challenging their teacher because they disagree with the student in the class who claims that she's a cat.
I'm reporting you to Miss Willis. You need to have a proper educational conversation.
Right, did you hear that? One of the students in the class identifies as a cat, right? and the other students have got a little bit of an issue with that. Listen to the teacher wholeheartedly, passionately defending a kid identifying as a feline. Like I say, my school was far from perfect. We used to get the cane, we'd get a ruler over our knuckles, and there was a bit of punching, but that went both ways. I remember one geezer put a fountain pen for a teacher's cheek. It just went bang, and then everyone went, yeah. Anyway, let's get back.
I left school in 1986, and I can't begin to imagine the torture that would have been foisted upon some kid in my school that was wandering around demanding to be treated as a cat.
No,
they wouldn't have lasted a day.
It wouldn't even manifest, would it? Because the kid pretending to be a cat would know that all the other kids would just go, fuck off, you idiot. But look at the difference. But these kids push back. It's good stuff.
Challenging their teacher because they disagree with the student in the class who claims that she's a cat.
I'm reporting you to Miss Willis. You need to have a proper educational conversation about equality, diversity, and inclusion.
The teacher gets so upset that she claims she's going to report them all.
Where the teacher should have gone with this conversation is, no, you can't identify as a cat.
they say, no, we're not going to play this game. And they challenge the logic that their classmate is in fact a cat. This sets the teacher off, though.
How dare you? You've just really upset someone. Saying things like should be in an asylum.
Fair play. Oi, cat lady, you should be in a nut house.
I didn't say that. I just said if they want to identify as a cat or something, then they're like genuinely on that. Then they've gone. Yeah, they're crazy.
There's something to be said for that. If you believe you are a cow or a cat, there's something going on mentally.
You were questioning their identity.
No, I wasn't a question. I was just saying about the gender. I didn't say anything about them.
That's really quite clever, using their own arguments back against them. And I will actually now say I think these kids are probably younger than what I said. I mean, I don't really know, but the girls talking, I guess. But brilliant.
Did you get this idea from there's only two genders?
The teacher acts like this is some extremist idea that, oh, you've been on the internet too much. Where did you get this idea that there's two genders? Now, the students take an interesting strategy here. If she's allowed to have her opinion that she's a cat, why can't I have my opinion?
But also, hang on, gender, there's a problem with the taxon here, because I'm not quite sure how cat enters gender. Yeah, okay.
There's only two genders.
My opinion. That is my opinion. If I respect their opinion, can't they respect my opinion?
It is not
Brilliant. Well, that's your opinion. This is mine, but apparently I can't have one. Brilliant. What clever young minds.
What's an opinion?
The teacher claims you're...
Hang on, it's not an opinion. What, it's scientific fact? Okay. But even scientific fact, the scientific method suggests that there isn't facts, because science is always evolving.
That is my opinion. If I respect their opinion, can't they respect my opinion?
It is not an opinion.
The teacher claims you're not allowed to hold that opinion, even though it's objective truth.
Gender is not linked to the parts that you were born with.
So this is the move that we...
What, like others?
Usually see. At some point, people just started to claim that gender is separate from sex.
That is about how you identify, which is what I said right from the very beginning of the
I just don't agree with that. So why should I have to listen to
biological sex, there is actually 3 biological sexes, because you can be born intersex.
Oh, they love playing the intersex card. It's like, it's an anomaly. Something went wrong. Something went wrong. It's like describing someone, a thalidomide child, as like a fourth gender. Well, there are some people who've got no arms and legs. Yeah, their mother was given a really dangerous drug which caused that. It's absurd. How can this teacher believe? I have to ask myself, does this teacher believe this, or does she have to go along with it to keep her job? Or is it, again, the long march, and they are all extreme Marxist lunatics, and they are fully behind it? Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Look at that. I was gonna say Latus, but is that what it is? Is that a guess Latus, or is that the real number? 0.002% intersex.
Something like that, yeah.
You got more chance of dying putting a hair clip in.
This teacher goes on to even claim that there are some people that have no gender.
Transgender. There is agender, people that don't believe they have a gender at all.
Believe is a great word to use there. That is the Derridian contradiction upon which I would jump faster than you've ever seen. Believe.
Yeah.
Don't believe. I'm learning some here.
And the students point this out. They say, how's that even possible?
Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's our opinion. We just don't agree with it. We just think it's all just... If you have a vagina, you're a girl. If you have a penis, you're a boy. Yeah.
But cisgender is not necessarily the way to be. You were talking about the fact that cisgender is the norm. But
I'm so unhappy that cisgender has entered the doxa. I'm so unhappy that it's used as... I said in a video about 8 years ago, it's a word that's as useful as notstronaut to suggest you're not an astronaut. You know, there's so few astronauts in the world. You don't need a word. You know, you go into to a dinner party or a boozer, and you know someone says, "Oh, this is my friend John. He's a notstronaut." You know, it's just you just don't need that. You don't need that sort of that limit. You don't need to limit people like that because it's such a tiny proportion of the population on the other side of it.
You were talking about the fact that cisgender is the norm, that you identify with the gender with the sexual order that you're born with, or you're weird. That's basically what you're saying, which is really despicable.
Yeah, but can you tell us why? Because you know you've made a claim. It's despicable. Okay, why?
How?
She says it. She even says it. How? Oh my God! Let's see if she answers.
That's basically what you're saying, which is really despicable.
How?
How?
Wow,
If
it's
I
back.
call my mum right now, my mum would be on my side. If I call my mum, she'd say.
Well, that's very sad as well then.
How is it? Loads of people agree with that. There's only a small majority of people who actually think that.
And why do you think we have so many problems in the world with homophobia?
That's right. Right, I lived in Soho for decades, and all the gays there, I was the only straight in the village. All the gays hated this stuff. They hated it. It was just like, you know, it put back, it put the way they were treated in society back like 50 years, because people blame it all on them, and they're nothing to do with it. It all went back down to an experiment. What was the geezer's name? Anyone in the chat remember? There was a geezer that got these two twins, identical twins, and they were fostered off to different people. And one was turned into a girl. They both killed themselves in the end. What was his name? I think there's a K in it somewhere. And he also invented the word gender. No, it weren't Kinsey. Kinsey had a part to play in it all, though. Kinsey got loads of drug addicts off the street because he could pay them like a tenner. You know, I'll give you a tenner if you talk to me. And they'd say absolutely anything you wanted to say. I don't think it is Kinsey. It might be. Maybe I've got it wrong. But I think Kinsey was the one that done all the interviews. But he never told everyone that they were junkies. Because, you know, street dwelling, rattling junkie. Do you want to do an interview? Here's a tenner. Yeah, all right. Then just tick any old box. That's it, John. Dr. Money. What a surprise. John Money. That's it. There you go. Dr. Money. I mean, does it get any better? Amazing. Anyway, a bit more of this.
The students point out this really has nothing to do with gay people. In fact, you couldn't have the concept of being gay if there was no such thing as biological gender.
That's
not homophobic, that's gender. Yeah. I'm fine with lesbians and gay people. Same. I've got nothing against them.
But gender there is a link between it, and you're saying that people can't change.
No, they can't.
To be.
They can't. Unless you get a penis attached. No, I'm not.
You're confusing sex and gender.
No, I'm not though. Because if you have a vagina, you're a girl. If you have a penis, you're a boy.
Yeah, you can't have a vagina and be a girl. But then
This is our teachers, bro.
The problem here is the teacher claims they are objectively wrong in their analysis. She says it right here. This is not up for debate. She's saying you are not allowed to have that opinion.
It's not an opinion.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No, it's not. And if you don't.
It's not an opinion. Look at this line, and if you don't like it, we'll go back a bit.
That opinion.
It's not an opinion.
Yes, it is.
Expressed in this
yes,
school.
it is.
No, it's not. And if you don't like it, you need to go to a different school.
Whoa! If you don't toe the party line, you can fuck off. I mean, wow. So, and that kid has got to go home and say to their parents, I was trying to defend what I believed. And now they're saying that if I keep those beliefs, I've got to go to a different school. And the parents, who are probably not clued up on this stuff. This is conjecture, but I think a lot of you will maybe agree with me. You'd probably trust the school over your 11-year-old kid. You'll think, now they're not telling me the full story. My kid probably screamed at them or something, and was saying, you're an idiot, because they think, what teacher would suggest that you saying that if you were born with a penis, you're a boy, would say you've got to go to a different school? Or they're going to get the shock of their lives when they rock up at that school to have it out with a teacher, and they'll be like, oh, hang on a minute. My daughter was right. You're nuts.
This is where it just gets wild. She's clearly stating it's our way or the highway. We will kick you out of school if you do not buy into the student can be a cat.
So I'm reporting you to Miss Willis. You need to have a proper educational conversation.
Yeah, that's what you're meant to be doing. What is a proper educational? Her articulation is terrible. You need to have a proper educational conversation. No, what she's saying is you need to be re-educated. That's what that is code for re-education. You need re-educating to toe the party line. And it is a party line. This is 100% political.
A proper educational conversation. I would love to have that conversation. I'd be very curious to see how that would go and what that would look like.
There's not a chance in hell she'd talk to an adult about this stuff. Not a chance.
About equality, diversity, and inclusion.
About DEI. What is...
This is why I point out DEI so much, because it encompasses so much. It's not just the racial component. It plays out like you're seeing here as well.
I'm not having that expressed in my lesson. When I'm teaching you about you can be who you want to be, how you identify is up to you.
But these students can't be who they...
A teacher's job is to teach you how to think, not what to think, how to think. And then they can give you historical examples of what people have thought, and then you start developing critical abilities, logical abilities, and that's a decent education. And this is the exact opposite of that. This is, you can't have an opinion, you're wrong, that's despicable, and if you carry on, you're out of here. Wow. England's fucked.
They want to be. They can't disagree with this person being a cat.
They just don't say it because then all this happens.
Maybe because they're polite and maybe they're sensitive.
So I don't know if you heard it. The girl said people don't speak. She implied that most kids don't speak out because this is the sort of stuff that happens. And the teacher says maybe they're polite. Maybe they're sensitive. Now, Theodore Adorno, one of my favourite thinkers, Jewish Marxist, always keeps me on side with the scrubs. He said that you can locate the precise historical hour of the arrival of politeness when you get privileged groups. Because once you've got a privileged group, it's abundantly clear. And so you can't tell the truth anymore. Because, if you've got a coal miner and a king, you have to start being polite. You have to start being tactful. You can't just come out with the truth because privileged groups have arrived. That's amazing. No, because do you know what? The last thing I would ever teach kids is the need for politeness and sensitivity. No. What you do when you debate, you don't try and win an argument. You don't try and lose an argument. You try and find the truth. I never debate to win. The best thing that can ever happen to me in a debate is when I'm wrong. When the other person says something, I have to question what I previously thought, and then I go, "Oh yeah," and they go, "See, your logic no longer stands up." And then they'll give me an example and say, "Because if you believe A equals B, then C, etc., etc. And then I go, yeah, I don't know. And that's the beauty of learning. I don't know. You're right. Because we're looking for truth. It's not about winning and losing. That's it's immature, it's illogical, it's not critical. And she says, well, maybe they're more polite than you. Polite societies fail. Look at what happened in Rotherham and the media. Well, we didn't want to talk about it because we didn't want to, be called racist. And when I say Rotherham, I mean every town and city in England. Politeness. That sort of underpinned the silencing of all what happened there.
Tolerance only goes so far.
I haven't said anything in all of the lessons I've been in. It's just because they turned around and started saying something. So I said, how can you identify as a cat when you're a girl?
Oh, yeah. They're now writing a statement. I would imagine that you'll be asked to write a statement as well.
Now they're being required to write statements, and this is in the UK. Maybe they have a different procedure over there. I'm glad this got caught on camera. Now, this recording caught the attention of the media in the UK.
The teacher, and I will make...
No, I'm not a big fan of what I assume is GB News. It's quite funny that she's catted herself up, though.
Make a direct quote, said, that is not an opinion that we express in this school. And if you don't like it, you need to go to a different school. Now,
the way she dealt with it was completely unprofessional. And to say that if you express these views that she really has decided is unacceptable, I'm not sure she speaks for the whole entire school. If you don't like it, find another school.
Now, this is the interesting part when she turns over to one of the co-hosts.
This is bonkers, isn't it, Nigel?
Well, I mean, the teacher was unnecessarily aggressive on this one. I thought the kids were actually fighting back quite admirably. And where the teacher should have gone with this conversation is, no, you can't identify as a cat or an aardvark or a chihuahua or something like that. You cannot identify as a different species.
Who at first sounds reasonable, but it turns out he's actually of the belief that gender is subjective and fluid.
But you think you can change your gender?
But I do think you can change your gender.
Why?
If you can change your gender, surely you can change your race. And if you can change your gender, why can't you change your species? Because it's only an illusion anyway.
Why is it that a cat is too far, but changing my biological reality is not too far?
Exactly.
Bro, what? Okay, you had me in the first half, bruh. You can't change your biology, brother. You can't.
And so that is enshrined in British law for most purposes.
So you think, so for example, I could decide so you're saying a cat is me taking it too far, but I could
It's a different species, so it would be ridiculous.
So as long as
any
it's
more
the
than
same
you're a pillar box.
Okay, you can't change your species, but
it would be ridiculous. But being a girl when you're a boy, no, that's fine. That's just straight down the line.
you can change your entire biological makeup. Makes sense.
Could identify, as long as it's the same species, you're comfortable that I could identify as that?
And she makes an interesting move here.
So I could identify as a man?
Yes, you can.
Could I identify as a black man?
Then it gets more complicated because...
No, that would be too far. Well, why? He can't explain why. It just gets more complicated. That's how these conversations go.
Transgender is something that is a personal necessity.
What do you mean by a personal necessity? Well,
Yeah,
what?
That's just a nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. It's just padding.
Why can't being a black man be a personal necessity? Who gets to define personal necessity?
Stop there, Edward. If I can change my biological sex, then I can change my race as well. Don't pick and choose now.
If you're trying to change your race...
I mean, we're all the same, though, aren't we? There's no difference between the races. There's no IQ differences. There's no bone differences. There's no medical differences. I mean, I know all this stuff has been well documented, but over the last sort of decade, we sort of tucked those under the cupboard in the bedroom so that we can crack on with this. But you're trying to have it both ways, mate, and it doesn't work like that.
That is a choice, and it also affects another community.
Well, but do you not think that this whole
Everything he said, you could say for male, female,
gender thing affects another community, men, saying that they can be women. Do you not think that the community of women are affected by that?
Well, they are, and that's where we talk about.
So yeah. So everything you just said is bullshit. Okay.
Women's spaces,
and this is where this whole thing crumbles.
But if under the law, a woman can have a penis.
Under the law means, hang on, I've got to let him finish that sentence. Listen, people, I know we've heard all this, but just step back, get that critical distance, and listen to where we are. Listen to what this sounds like educated man is about to say.
But if under the law, a woman can have a penis.
It's amazing. Notice the little caveat there was under the law, because what he didn't want to say is I believe, I think, or it's fact, or it's truth. No, what did he do? He resorted to the law, which you can just scratch together as and when you want when you're the government.
Yeah, I mean,
the question
we don't have a constitution as such.
What? Then is whether or not that woman should be able to use women-only spaces. I think not, by the way. But
it's absolutely gone away from race. Like, nah, fuck that, man. Let me just repeat myself.
The only difference under the law is you don't send a trans woman with male genitalia into a women's prison.
Firstly, just because something is law doesn't mean that it makes sense that it's
perfect.
Right. And you know, if some...
Bro, this is the first time I've seen two women destroying a woke dude. This is not, this is usually the other way around, bro.
The logic is the same. It doesn't matter if you're identifying as a different race or if you're identifying as a different species, because the whole point of being transgender and having gender dysphoria is the idea that you were placed in the wrong body.
Yeah, and why can't that be the same for race? The Truth Will Set You Free has been a member for 63 months. Amazing. People, I've done 2 hours. I thought I'd only manage an hour. It's been a fucking absolute pleasure. I haven't felt this good since this last couple of months of hideous sickness. I'll call it sickness. I'm being a bit generous there. It's been brilliant. Can you show Packer some love in the chat, please, people? A little PK or anything you want. Packer, I'll let you go. We'll have a little debriefing afterwards. Oh, look, he's Packer, you frozen and we're going like this. I don't know if you're doing it again or whether you're joking. All right, I'll see you in a minute. Show him some love, people. Packer's brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen of the Scrubs, I'll just check over here. Anyone who donated using Buy Me a Coffee, you'll get your videos. Probably not tonight because it's 2 o'clock in the morning and the missus is asleep in there, and it just means it's longer me making a noise. But we seem to be all right, but it's still time. Hang on, let me get this together. Hang on. Give me a second, people. Bosh, bing, bang, ba-doo-da, ying dong, ying dong, ying dong, ying dong, ying dong, ying dong. Right, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for everyone who donated. Keep an eye on the Substack. There's a lot of changes going to be happening there within the next month. But remember, if you are going to stay a free subscriber, you're not losing anything. You're going to still get what you got as a free subscriber. It's just paid subscribers are going to get more and a lot more, not just more stories. I'll be reading out my stories, so you'll have audio versions of them. There'll be a little writing course that I wrote years ago. There'll be videos, there'll be all sorts of things, but I'll make all that clear on Substack. Thanks for all of you. We've had over 80 people. When you've been away for a few months, it's a well-known YouTube thing that your numbers go down, and you know, I sort of average about 80 unless I have a guest on. So that's been very, very nice. Thanks for everyone getting in the chat and involving yourself with the stream. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be back streaming. I will do a couple a week. Ted, you've got nothing to worry about, son, because I thought since this is the rebirth of the glorious House of Scrubs, that's exactly what it's going to be. Look after yourselves, people, and it's a pleasure to be back. I'm all right. I'm not going anywhere. Ta-ta.
All the world loves a lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. The joy of loving is to live in the world of man. There's a someone who's waiting for you. Soon the world will be yours for a toy. Music starts to play, night will turn to day. Darkness disappears when the one you love is near. You're in man. All the world loves a lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of man. There's a place that is waiting for you, a world where the best in life is free, where time is always spring, happiness is king. Dreams you dream come true when the one you love loves you. You're in man. All the world loves a lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of man.
Sorry, I forgot how to work the computers. There you go, people. Thank you, Barney Rubble. Let's get them on the screen. It's only fair. Thank you, Barney Machino Capricinata Tutu. Thank you, Picard. He says, cheers, Chris. Welcome back. Thanks for having me. The pleasure's all mine and the Scrubs. And happy birthday. Yeah, that was the 6th of May. Older. But one more year, I get a retirement visa. So I'm quite happy to get older. And he says, Scrubs, Hoyt. Nice one, Picard. There you go. Look after yourselves, people. I'll probably do another one over the weekend. How about that? But I've got a lot of work on with this novel. I'm a third of the way through a pass. Once I've done this full pass, I'll do another full pass, and then it'll hopefully go to Laos. And it will hopefully be, and I mean this because it's my job now. It will be ready end of November for that Christmas. It's just makes sense when you're selling something. All right, people, look after yourselves. Lovely to be back. Thanks for cheering me up, making me feel alive again. Bless you all and a massive hoit.